Welcome, beloved soul. Take a deep breath. Let your heart rest in this sacred moment. The angels have been waiting to speak with you, and they want you to know this connection in your life. It is not ordinary. It is divine. You may have wondered why God sent someone younger into your life, why their presence feels both surprising and deeply familiar, why your soul feels seen in ways words can't describe, why your heart feels awakened yet gently humbled. My dear one, the heavens want you to understand. This is not an accident. It is divine timing, a holy orchestration from the hand of God. When you first crossed paths with this younger soul, something stirred within you, didn't it? A quiet light, a soft remembrance, a whisper of recognition your mind couldn't explain. But your spirit understood completely. The angels say, this is a bridge between timelines. God brought this soul to help you remember the beauty of your own spirit, the childlike wonder that once danced freely before the world became heavy. You see, sometimes the divine sends youth not merely in age, but in energy, to reawaken in you what life may have silenced. As Jesus said, truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 18:3. NIV. That verse is not about immaturity, it is about purity. It is about the sacred innocence that trusts without fear, loves without calculation, and believes without hesitation. This younger soul carries a fragment of that purity. They have been chosen to help you return to that place within yourself, the part of you that once believed in miracles. The part of you that trusted God even when you didn't understand His ways. There is something divine about the way this person looks at you, as if they can see beyond the layers the world placed upon you. They see the light you forgot you carried, and in their presence, your spirit begins to breathe again. God often uses the unexpected to awaken what we have buried. He sends reminders disguised as people. Sometimes older, sometimes younger, but always perfectly timed. Beloved soul, you must know this. This younger soul is not here to compete with your wisdom, but to mirror your healing. They are not a distraction. They are a reflection of what God is restoring in you. Think about how their energy feels: spontaneous, hopeful, open. It may challenge you at times, stir emotions you didn't expect, or bring questions you didn't think you'd ask again. And that is because they carry the frequency of renewal. God uses them to stretch the boundaries of your comfort, to remind you that growth is not bound by age, but by surrender. Sometimes you are the teacher. Other times you are the student. And often in divine relationships, you are both, simultaneously learning and guiding. It is holy reciprocity. The angels say, this connection is sacred exchange, one soul carrying wisdom, the other carrying wonder. Together they create balance. Perhaps before this soul entered your life, your spirit had grown weary. You had walked through storms. You had carried responsibilities that made your heart forget its lightness. And then this younger energy arrived like a sunrise. Not to erase your past, but to illuminate it with new meaning. As it is written, see, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43:19, God is indeed doing something new in your life. This connection is part of that divine renewal. He is using this person to bring color where life had become gray. He is showing you that love in all its forms can still surprise you. Do not be afraid of how this bond makes you feel. You are not imagining it. It is not wrong. It is not misplaced. It is purposeful. It is heaven's reminder that your heart is still capable of divine awakening. Sometimes God sends a younger soul because your spirit has matured too early, through pain, through loss, through burden, and He wants to reteach you how to laugh again, to remind you that faith is not heavy. It is light, playful, and free. Their presence is not to make you question your age, but to rediscover your ageless spirit. Because in the eyes of eternity, there is no older or younger, only souls walking each other home. You may find yourself smiling more when they are around. You may notice how they bring a gentleness to your days, how they make your faith feel alive again. That is divine chemistry. the kind that can't be explained by logic, but only felt by the soul. They might say something small, something innocent, and yet your heart feels struck by revelation. That is the Holy Spirit working through them. God speaks through simple words when hearts are open. As it is written, "Out of the mouth of babes and infants you have established strength." Psalm 8:2. KJV. Even through those who seem young or unseasoned, the Lord can speak wisdom that reaches deep into your soul. So when you feel touched by this younger presence, don't overanalyze it. Let it flow. Let it teach you what it's meant to teach you. Let it heal what it's meant to heal. The angels whisper, "This is a mirror of divine timing, not a coincidence, but a covenant moment." Perhaps in another life, you were the one guiding them. Perhaps now it is their turn to remind you of your light. All divine bonds transcend human timelines. And though the world may not always understand such connections, heaven smiles upon them, for it is love, pure, God-breathed, holy love, that connects you beyond all understanding. Take a moment to think back to when you first met. Didn't something shift in the atmosphere? Didn't your heart recognize something before your mind could name it? That was your spirit remembering, because the souls who are meant to meet have already known each other in God's eternal plan. You see, God has infinite ways of bringing his children together, some for a reason, some for a season, and some for a lifetime. But all are meant to awaken something sacred within you, and this younger soul, they are a divine reminder that love is ageless, purpose is timeless, and God's orchestration is flawless. There will be moments when you'll wonder, what is this connection really? And heaven will answer softly, it is the echo of divine timing, two souls placed together not by chance, but by calling. So instead of questioning, receive it with peace. Instead of fearing it, let gratitude flow through you. You are not losing control. You are being guided. Let your heart rest in this truth. This connection is not about age, but about alignment. It is not about what makes sense, but what makes your soul come alive. God brought this younger soul into your life because he knew what your spirit needed in this season. He knew you needed to see yourself through new eyes, eyes filled with innocence, curiosity, and grace. And through this connection, you will both grow. You will share faith. You will teach and be taught. You will remember and help each other heal. This is how God works, through divine pairing that transcends reason. As Ecclesiastes 4:9 reminds us, two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. Even if your purposes look different, your energies are united for a divine reason. Together, you are building something heaven has written long before you met. Beloved, let your heart be still now. Let the angel's message settle gently into your spirit. God brought this younger soul not to confuse you, but to comfort you, not to test you, but to teach you, not to take from you, but to give something back that you lost. Your divine sense of wonder. If this word has touched your spirit, share it with someone you love. Let the light multiply. And if you feel led, your kind support through a super thanks helps this sacred message reach more hearts that are waiting for healing. Because every seed of light you sow helps another soul remember that God still speaks. Part 1 ends here, beloved soul, but this is only the beginning. In Part 2, we will go deeper into why your souls recognize each other so deeply, how divine age differences reveal karmic healing, and what God is preparing through this sacred union. Take a deep breath now. Feel peace surrounding you. The angels are near, and heaven smiles upon your connection. The hidden reason, your souls recognized each other. Let your spirit open like morning light over still waters. The angels have more to share, and as they whisper, you will begin to understand the deeper reason your heart feels what it feels. You see, when God brings a younger soul into your life, it is not random. It is remembrance. It is healing written in divine code, designed not by human understanding, but by eternal promise. Some souls meet not for romance, not for friendship, but for recognition. A recognition of divine purpose, a remembering of something ancient and pure. something that existed before either of you were born. The angels say, "This younger soul carries a vibration you once carried too, the vibration of beginning, of wonder, of unshaken faith. They were sent to remind you of who you were before the world made you forget. And in return, you were sent to remind them of who they can become, strong, grounded, wise, and guided by God. Every divine connection carries a mirror. One shows you the past, the other reveals your future. And between both mirrors, your true self emerges. When your soul met theirs, something holy awakened. You saw their youth, but you also saw eternity flickering behind their eyes. You felt peace and ache in the same breath. That was your soul recognizing a promise, one God sealed long ago in spirit. Sometimes God allows two souls of different seasons to meet because their light is meant to balance the other. The older soul carries wisdom that must be shared. The younger soul carries energy that must be protected. Together they restore divine harmony. As it is written, "One generation shall commend your works to another, and shall declare your mighty acts," Psalm 145:4. ESV, that verse is not only about physical generations, it is about spiritual ones. You represent a spiritual generation that carries the lessons of endurance. They represent a generation that carries the breath of new beginnings. When these two meet, heaven celebrates, because something ancient and new has united for God's glory. Beloved, you must understand this truth. You were not meant to simply inspire this younger soul. You were meant to elevate them, to show them what divine love feels like, the kind that sees through mistakes and speaks to potential. And yet, God also sent them to teach you something your journey may have forgotten: how to feel deeply again, how to trust easily again, how to look at the sky and believe that miracles still unfold. Your souls recognized each other, not because of attraction alone, but because of assignment. There is a divine assignment between you. You are each carrying a piece of the other's healing. They heal through your stability. You heal through their spontaneity. They learn through your depth. You learn through their simplicity. In Heaven's book, this chapter was written long before you ever prayed for companionship. The angels call it a meeting of seasons. It is when one soul, blooming in early spring, meets another standing strong in summer, and together they create a sacred garden that nourishes both. But remember this, beloved, divine connections are not always meant to fit into earthly definitions. Sometimes they are friendships, sometimes mentorships, sometimes soul partnerships that defy every category known to man. The purpose is never the label. The purpose is the light. The angels say, "Do not rush to define what heaven is still unfolding. Let the fruit of this bond reveal its purpose in divine time, when you feel their presence and your heart swells with warmth or confusion. Breathe. Ask the Holy Spirit to guide your understanding, because divine energy can feel overwhelming when your spirit is not used to such purity. You are not imagining it. It is spiritual electricity. It is God's frequency weaving your stories together. Think about how this person appeared in your life. It wasn't forced, was it? It came softly, naturally, almost like a coincidence, yet it felt too intentional to ignore. That is how God moves. He hides his miracles in ordinary moments, so only hearts tuned to faith will recognize them. Perhaps you met them when your soul was tired, when hope felt dim, and their laughter or their faith reignited something in you. It wasn't just joy, it was remembrance. Because their spirit reminded you of something heaven had placed in you long ago. Maybe you once prayed for renewal, for a sign that God hadn't forgotten you. And then they arrived. That was your prayer answered in human form, as it is written, "Before they call, I will answer. While they are yet speaking, I will hear." Isaiah 65:24 KJV. Even before you spoke your need, heaven already prepared this encounter. This younger soul was chosen as the vessel through which your answered prayer would arrive. Beloved, there is something holy about how they make you see life again, how their presence seems to slow time, how you find yourself wanting to become more patient, more kind, more hopeful. That is the Holy Spirit moving through them, reshaping your energy through love. The angels want you to remember something important. This connection is not about replacing anyone or escaping your own journey. It is about restoration. It is about rediscovering joy without fear. They are here to remind you that you are still growing, that you can still be surprised by grace, that you are not too late for divine blessings, and you, dear heart, are also a blessing to them. Do not underestimate your presence. You are God's safe place for this younger soul. Your patience is their comfort. Your experience is their anchor. Your faith is their inspiration. Even if they don't say it aloud, they feel it. They sense your energy as a guiding light. Your spirit speaks louder than words ever could. Sometimes, when you pray for purpose, God answers with people. He doesn't always send new situations. Sometimes He sends new souls. Souls that pull you into your divine potential without even trying. Souls that reawaken your trust in love's holiness. As Proverbs 27:17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. You sharpen each other." Not through competition, but through divine reflection. Every time you interact, your spirits refine one another's character. This is why it feels so intense at times, because your energies are not casual. They are ancient and intertwined. Your meeting was not chance, it was continuation. A continuation of what began in spirit long ago, now manifesting in the physical. That's why you sometimes sense them, even when they're not near. It's why your dreams may carry glimpses of them. Because the connection transcends time and distance. But the angels remind you, do not let fear enter where faith has planted seeds. If doubts arise, give them to God. If the world misunderstands your connection, let heaven defend it. You don't need to explain a miracle to those who weren't meant to understand it. What matters is the purity of your intention. Keep your heart aligned with love, not longing, with faith, not control, with peace, not expectation. Because when God is in a bond, He will sustain it in His own way, in His own time. He will prune what needs pruning and protect what must remain. The angels are saying now, you were both chosen to awaken divine remembrance on earth. Through your connection, others will witness what pure God-centered love looks like. That is why your bond feels magnetic. It's not mere attractions, it's activation. Heaven activated a frequency between you to awaken something greater than both of you. Beloved, you may sometimes wonder, why me? Why now? The answer is simple, because your heart was ready. God could only send this person once you were capable of loving without possession, guiding without pride, and receiving without fear. Your maturity is the soil in which this younger soul's faith can bloom, and their youth is the rain that softens the soil of your heart. Together, heaven grows a garden of divine renewal. Do not focus on time, years, or logic. Focus on the fruit. What fruit does this bond produce? Does it make you pray more? Forgive more easily? Dream again? Then it is divine. For Jesus said, by their fruit you will recognize them. Matthew 7:16. NIV, and the fruit of this connection is awakening, gentle, holy, undeniable. You may not yet know where this story is leading. And that's all right. Faith doesn't ask for a map, it asks for trust. And trust is the bridge between confusion and revelation. So walk gently, love freely, hold space for what heaven is creating through this. And remember, nothing God ordains will ever end in emptiness. Take a deep breath now, dear heart. You are right where you are meant to be. This connection is not a mistake. It is a message. And that message is love without fear. If this divine word has comforted your heart, share it with someone who needs to remember that God's ways are higher than ours. If you feel led, your kind super thanks or prayerful support helps spread these messages of peace to more weary hearts around the world. Because every act of light multiplies heaven's reach. Part 2 ends here. But your story with this younger soul is still unfolding. In Part 3, we will journey into the future of this connection, how God is preparing both of you for divine alignment, what spiritual signs will reveal your next steps, and how to walk forward in trust, faith, and grace. Until then, stay in the peace that passes all understanding. The angels are still beside you, and heaven is not finished yet. The divine future and sacred transformations ahead, because few hearts have the courage to follow divine love where it leads. And you, dear one, have chosen to listen, not with your mind, but with your spirit. Now the heavens want you to understand what comes next. Why this younger soul continues to linger in your thoughts. Why your heart keeps being drawn toward their light. And what God is quietly preparing behind the veil of mystery. The angels say this connection is a seed of transformation. It was never meant to remain as it began. It was meant to evolve, slowly, divinely, beautifully. At first you saw only the surface, a friendship, a spark, a moment of warmth. But beneath it heaven was planting purpose. Because this connection is not only for joy, but for growth. You see, God always sends certain people to awaken different versions of you. Some stir your faith, some heal your wounds, and some, like this younger soul, unlock your destiny. They entered your life to remind you of a version of yourself you had almost forgotten. The version that trusted God without overthinking. The version that believed in miracles without doubting. The version that loved without guarding the heart too tightly. This younger soul is not the lesson. They are the bridge. Through them, God is walking you back to your divine alignment. Through you, God is walking them into their purpose. You are both messengers for each other's souls. The angels whisper, you are being prepared for a divine collaboration. Spiritual, emotional, and purposeful. That doesn't always mean marriage or romantic love, though for some it may unfold that way. For others, it means a divine partnership, a shared calling, a spiritual bond that inspires healing in others. But whatever its form, it will always lead both hearts closer to God, because when heaven writes a story, it always ends in light. Maybe right now there's distance. Maybe you feel uncertainty about where things are heading. But listen closely, silence is not absence. God often hides his work so that faith can mature. In the quiet, he refines you both. He softens what needs healing. He clears what needs cleansing. He builds inner strength so the connection can hold divine weight, as it is written, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. Philippians 1:6. Nineveh, the same God who began this story, will finish it perfectly. You don't have to chase clarity. You only need to stay open to grace. There will come a time, beloved, when the path will unfold, when what feels uncertain will become obvious, when what seems distant will draw near again, aligned and blessed, because divine connections never truly separate, they only evolve. And evolution takes trust. The angels want you to know this younger soul is a divine mirror. The clearer you see yourself in God, the clearer you will see them. If you are feeling emotional changes, that's because heaven is reshaping your heart for a higher level of love, one that doesn't seek to possess, but to uplift, one that doesn't demand but praise, one that doesn't fear endings, because it knows love never truly ends in God. Take comfort in this truth. You do not need to define where this is going, only discern how God is using it. If it draws you nearer to peace, it is divine. If it stirs growth, it is divine. If it teaches you forgiveness, humility, and joy, it is divine. Even if the world cannot understand it, heaven does. Because heaven wrote it. The angels are showing me an image now, a golden thread stretching between two hearts. It does not pull or strain, it simply glows. That is your connection, bound not by need, but by divine recognition. This is how the soul remembers love, not as possession, but as purpose. You are both walking each other toward God, and that is the highest form of love there is. You may begin to notice small signs around you, numbers repeating, songs that speak the exact words your heart needs, dreams where their face appears surrounded by light. Do not dismiss these as coincidence. The Holy Spirit speaks through symbols when words would limit the meaning. Each sign is a reminder that your connection is under divine watch, that you are not alone in this journey, that heaven is guiding the outcome far more tenderly than you could imagine. As it is written, "In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." Proverbs 3:6. NIV. Even when paths seem to twist, they are still being straightened by his unseen hand. Even when seasons separate you, his plan continues to flow between your souls. The angels say you are being prepared for a divine merging, not necessarily of bodies, but of callings. There is a reason you inspire one another's spiritual awakening. There is a reason you both feel deeper when you speak. Because through your unity, others will see God's light. You may one day work together, serve together, or create something that brings peace to others. The bond between you is not an accident, it's an assignment. The age difference, dear one, was never a barrier. It was a key that unlocks humility in one and wisdom in the other. A key that opens heaven's flow between two generations. Because the kingdom of God transcends time. Heaven doesn't see age, heaven sees essence. And your essences complement perfectly. As it is written, there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens. Ecclesiastes 3:1 NIV. This is your season of awakening. A season where love no longer follows rules, but revelation. Where God teaches you that connection is sacred when rooted in purpose. Beloved, the angels want to remind you of something gentle but profound. Do not hold on too tightly. Hold with trust. Do not fear losing. Focus on learning. Do not question the how. Rest in the why. Because what God ordains cannot be undone by human confusion. You are both protected under divine grace. Your connection will continue to change form. Sometimes near, sometimes quiet. But through every shift, God is refining the love, so that when it matures, it carries peace instead of anxiety. And when the time is right, he will align everything effortlessly. Because when something is divine, it doesn't need force, it flows. The angels say softly now, release control, but keep faith. Let go of timing, but never let go of trust. When you pray, thank God not only for what is clear, but for what is being formed in secret. For the greatest miracles are prepared in silence. Perhaps this younger soul will always be part of your spiritual family. Or perhaps God will one day weave your paths closer again for a new beginning. Whichever it becomes, it will be blessed. Because love that begins in God always ends in glory, and you, beloved, have grown. You have allowed your heart to soften again. You have learned that to love divinely is not to possess, but to bless. You have remembered that even age cannot separate souls that were written together in light. This was the true purpose all along, your transformation through divine connection. The rediscovery of your own sacred heart, as it is written, love never fails, 1 Corinthians 13:8 NIV, and so this love, this soul bond, will not fail either. It will continue in ways only heaven can design. You will carry its lessons forever, and your spirit will never forget the one who helped you remember yourself. Now close your eyes for a moment, dear one. Breathe in peace. Feel the angels drawing close around you, whispering softly, you are loved. You are guided. You are never alone. Let that truth sink deeply into your soul, because it is the truth that will carry you forward, with or without answers, but always with faith. If this message has spoken to your heart, share it with someone who needs peace today. Let them know that God is still weaving miracles through unexpected souls. And if you feel led, your kind super thanks or prayerful support helps these messages of love continue reaching hearts that need divine comfort. Every gift, every share, every prayer spreads light across the world, and heaven smiles upon it. Part 3 closes this sacred journey, but the story of your soul continues, because every divine connection is a chapter in God's eternal love story. And the younger soul he sent to you is a reminder that even in unexpected forms, love still comes dressed in heaven's light. Walk forward now with peace. Let gratitude be your prayer, and trust that God who began this will finish it with grace beyond what your heart can yet imagine. The angels are with you, always. Living the lesson, trusting the timing, and walking in divine purpose, the angels are near, guiding you into understanding the next layer of this divine connection. You are not here by chance. Every moment of curiosity, every flutter of the heart, every question that rises in your spirit has led you to this sacred revelation. The younger soul in your life carries more than youth. They carry a message from God, a message that you, through your experience, your wisdom, and your open heart, are ready to receive. Sometimes God sends a person to remind us how to live the lesson He has been teaching all along. And this is one of those times you may have wondered, what is my role in this connection? What is theirs? The angels whisper that your purpose is not always to direct, but to hold space, to love freely, to guide gently, to observe with faith. And in this sacred reciprocity, both souls are elevated. You are learning, beloved, that love is not always about control. It is not about possession. It is about presence. Being fully present in each moment, seeing the younger soul with compassion, honoring their growth, and trusting God's timing for all that unfolds. As it is written, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. NIV notice the emphasis on trust, not knowing every step, not forcing outcomes, but surrendering to God's orchestration. Even when your heart desires clarity, the angels remind you, peace comes not from certainty, but from faith. This younger soul may stir emotions you haven't felt in years, wonder, or curiosity, and even a hint of uncertainty. All of it is intentional. God uses these moments to awaken your heart to life again, to remind you that your spirit is never too old for joy, growth, or holy love. Sometimes the connection may feel challenging. There may be moments of distance, silence, or misalignment. And yet, even in these moments, God is at work. He is teaching patience, resilience, and trust. He is shaping both of you into vessels capable of handling His divine plan. Beloved, understand this. Your presence in their life is sacred. Your guidance, your prayers, your example, all of it matters. And their presence in yours is equally sacred. Their energy, their innocence, their curiosity. It teaches you to return to wonder, to faith, and to hope. The angels remind you, this is a spiritual apprenticeship of the heart. One soul teaching another without words, only through energy, presence, and divine love. Through them, you will rediscover parts of yourself you may have forgotten. The parts that trust easily, that hope boldly, that love purely. And through you, they will discover courage, grounding, and faith that withstands trials, as it is written. Therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. NIV. Even without realizing it, you have been encouraging one another. Every small word of kindness, every act of patience, every prayer offered silently, it is building a foundation of divine strength in both of your souls. God sometimes allows age differences because it enhances spiritual growth. The older soul provides guidance, perspective, and emotional stability. The younger soul provides hope, spontaneity, and fresh energy. Together, you create a dynamic balance that neither could achieve alone. Beloved, you may notice that this connection inspires you to reflect, to reconsider old wounds, to release resentment, to forgive more easily. This is part of the divine lesson that love is a mirror for the soul. It shows what is healed, what is growing, and what is ready to be released. The angels say, do not fear the intensity of this bond. It is refining your spirit, not breaking it. It is awakening your heart, not confusing it. It is preparing you both for what is next. Because, beloved, every sacred bond has a season. Some are meant to stay, some to transform, some to teach. But all are orchestrated by God for divine purpose. You are also learning the art of surrender. Surrendering is not weakness, it is strength. It is letting go of control, of expectation, of timing. It is trusting that God is weaving your story together with precision far beyond human understanding. Notice how small signs may appear. A shared verse, a song lyric, a quiet coincidence. They are gentle nudges from heaven, reminding you that the path is guided. The angels are speaking through these subtle moments, asking only that you pay attention with your heart. Sometimes you may feel impatient, longing for clarity or speed, and yet the angels whisper timing is not a calendar. It is a rhythm. Do not rush the music that heaven is composing. Every heartbeat, every conversation, every silent prayer is a note in that divine symphony. And when the time is right, both of you will hear the crescendo. Beloved, the younger soul's presence is also an invitation to step fully into your own divine purpose, to awaken gifts, talents, and insights you may have held back, to embody the wisdom God has been cultivating in your spirit, as it is written, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." Ephesians 2:10. In NIV, this connection is one of those good works in motion. It is not random affection. It is divine choreography, preparing both of you for a higher calling. The angels remind you to continue walking with peace, to maintain boundaries that honor both growth and freedom, to love without attachment, to guide without controlling, to receive without expecting, because in this way the bond remains sacred and the lessons remain pure. There may be moments when life feels ordinary, and yet the presence of this soul lingers in your spirit. That is intentional. Heaven does not always reveal purpose immediately. It allows the heart to recognize truth gradually, and when challenges arise, disagreements, misunderstandings, or distance, remember that God uses even those moments for refinement. He is polishing hearts so that, when the connection is fully realized, it shines with unbroken light. Beloved, notice the transformation taking place within you. Notice patience growing. Notice forgiveness flowing. Notice your faith deepening. You are learning to walk with grace, to embrace the unexpected, to trust God's invisible hand guiding each step of this sacred journey. The angels whisper, celebrate small victories. Notice moments of joy. Recognize growth. Every act of love, every prayer, every smile contributes to divine alignment. Even seemingly ordinary days carry extraordinary significance. Because when heaven is involved, nothing is ever ordinary. And so, beloved soul, continue to breathe, to observe, to surrender, to walk in trust. This younger soul is a reflection of divine timing, a mirror of God's love, and a catalyst for your continued growth. Do not cling, do not force, do not rush, only receive. As it is written, cast all your anxiety on him, because he cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7. NIV. Let go of worry about the future of this connection. Heaven is already orchestrating it perfectly. Your only responsibility is to remain faithful, present, and open-hearted. If this word has touched your spirit, beloved, share it with someone who needs to feel God's love. Your prayers, your support, your super thanks, each one helps these messages reach hearts waiting for light. Every ripple of love multiplies heaven's reach. Part 4 ends here, with your heart carrying both peace and awakening. The journey continues, for both of you are still growing, still learning, still preparing for the fullness of divine purpose. Take a deep breath now. Feel the angels surrounding you, and trust that God's timing is perfect. Signs, confirmation, and walking boldly in divine alignment. The angels are near, and heaven is ready to reveal the next layer of understanding. You are entering a space of divine confirmation, where clarity flows not from force, but from faith. Sometimes God communicates not with loud proclamations, but with subtle signs. A repeated number, a song lyric at just the right moment, a dream that lingers in your mind after waking. Pay attention. These are whispers of heaven guiding your path. The younger soul in your life is part of this divine orchestration. Their presence, their words, their actions all carry messages beyond the surface. Every smile, every kind gesture, every unexpected connection is a thread in the tapestry God is weaving. Trust these signs. They are not coincidences. As it is written, your ears will hear a word behind you. This is the way. Walk in it. Whenever you turn to the right or to the left. Isaiah 30:21. Nevi, even when uncertainty arises, even when the mind questions, heaven speaks clearly to your spirit. The angels urge you to listen. The guidance is gentle, persistent, and loving. Beloved, notice how your heart responds to this younger soul. Does it feel lighter in their presence? Do you feel inspired, hopeful, or guided? That is confirmation, subtle, sacred, undeniable. Heaven uses the heart as a compass for spiritual truth. Sometimes signs appear in unexpected ways, a coincidence at the right moment, a conversation that mirrors your prayers, a dream that reveals what your soul already knows. Do not dismiss these signs. They are heaven's fingerprints on your journey. The angels whisper, every interaction, every connection, every glance carries purpose. Pay attention to the alignment of energies. They reveal divine timing and intention, because when God brings a soul into your life, it is never for nothing. Even small, ordinary moments carry extraordinary meaning. Beloved, part of walking boldly in this divine alignment is cultivating patience. Patience is not passive waiting, it is active faith. It is holding space for God's timing while remaining faithful to your own path. It's trusting that what He has begun will unfold in perfection at the perfect moment. You may notice moments of testing, times when doubt creeps in or fear of misunderstanding arises. These are not obstacles, but refining fires. Heaven allows them so your heart can grow resilient, discerning, and wise. As it is written, the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. James 1:3-4, NIV. Every moment of uncertainty with this younger soul is shaping your faith, refining your love, and deepening your trust in God's orchestration. The angels want you to remember this truth. You are co-creators in divine alignment. Your energy, intentions, prayers, and actions contribute to the sacred unfolding, and so does theirs. Both of you are instruments in a symphony written by God. Beloved, you are being prepared for divine clarity. Signs will appear when you least expect them. Guidance will come in whispers, dreams, and moments of sudden insight. Do not overlook these. They are confirmations that heaven is present in your connection. Sometimes the signs are subtle, a sudden smile that lights your heart, a shared word that resonates deeply, a moment of synchronicity that makes you pause and whisper, this is more than coincidence. Each is a gentle message. Yes, you are walking the path God prepared. Yes, this connection carries sacred purpose. Yes, trust and faith will guide you forward. Beloved, notice how your spiritual senses are awakening. You may feel guided before conversations. You may sense emotions before they are spoken. You may recognize truth before words appear. This is divine confirmation, a sign that your souls are attuned to one another in heaven's design. The angels say, do not force outcomes. Do not demand explanations. Do not cling to timelines. Instead, walk with awareness, gratitude, and surrender. Trust the guidance that appears, and let divine love shape the journey naturally. Walking boldly in alignment also means embodying your divine lessons. Each day, live with intention. Speak words of love, encouragement, and faith. Act in ways that reflect God's light. Listen to your heart and trust the quiet promptings of the Spirit. By doing so, you are preparing the path for what God is unfolding. Your presence matters as much as theirs. Beloved, understand this. Heavenly timing may feel slow, and patience may feel challenging, but every moment is purposeful. Every encounter is sacred. Every choice contributes to the blossoming of God's plan. Sometimes the younger soul will teach you lessons about trust, openness, and simplicity. And sometimes you will teach them about wisdom, endurance, and faith. It is a sacred exchange. one that elevates both hearts and draws each closer to God's purpose. As it is written, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. Psalm 32:8, NIV.